Thanks, Kansas City, for making us #1. This is KMBC 9 News at 6, where the news comes first.
You put the lie to that by the power of your example. And make no mistake about it, it is even more powerful than the power of our bombs.
President Clinton salutes the proud men and women of Whiteman who helped the B-2s soar into victory over Yugoslavia. Good evening, everyone. Larry and Lori are off tonight. 2 reasons to celebrate at Whiteman's Air Force Base today: the end of the war in Kosovo and a presidential visit.
That's our top story tonight at 6. A big pat on the back for the men and women who fly, maintain, and support the B-2 bombers.
We have team coverage on this historic day at Whiteman. We'll hear from the pilots about their secretive missions.
But first, KMBC 9's Michael Mahoney live at the base tonight with more. Mike.
Chris, that's a good way to put it, a pat on the back for the folks here at Whiteman. The president came here today to celebrate the end of the war over the Balkans. The president worked and waded his way into the crowd, shaking almost every hand in sight and thanking the troops and their family for top-notch work. The president also inspected one of the stealth bombers. However, it was not one of the bombers that was used during the Balkan War campaign. And he also told the troops here that their military skills were most valuable to the successful prosecution of the war, but so was their ability to pull together as a team, even though they're diverse people from different parts of the nation. He says that's a sharp contrast to the way the Serbs view things.
That their country can only be great when everybody's just like everybody else. Well, look around here. You put the lie to that by the power of your example. And make no mistake about it, it is even more powerful than the power of our bombs.
Mr. Clinton was also very, very complimentary towards the B-2 aircraft. He called it a great airplane. Now, there were hundreds of people here who jammed into a hangar on the airbase to hear the president make those remarks and others. And Peggy Bright reports the folks that were there listening to the president's speech got that message loud and clear.
It really made us feel special.
A very special day at Whiteman because of a president who recognized not just the pilots who flew the B-2 bombers over Yugoslavia, but every person who contributed to the mission's success, like this master sergeant.
Product improvement manager for the base. We deal with a lot of engineers and we try to make the B-2 better. So we're constantly upgrading and making it more capable than what it is now.
Definitely. There's so many people that don't usually get recognized for this, but he really touched every base and it was good. It's real good.
And there were 2 parts to his message. First, thanking the Whiteman team for a job well done, and second, pointing out that the diversity Milosevic sought to squelch in Kosovo is what made Operation Allied Force work.
Actually, I haven't heard that before, but I really appreciate it. Considering being a minority in the Air Force, it's really nice to hear the president coming thanking all of us for being a part of the Air Force.
Definitely unique, a different perspective. But I guess that's why he's the president. He's a good speaker. He's a great communicator.
The people here listened closely to what the president had to say, and the people of Whiteman say what they heard is a message they're glad that he came to present. One little girl came away with this autographed picture.
He asked me for my name, and he asked me how old I was.
Chelsea is 9, by the way, and one of the many people in the crowd who felt this presidential visit to Whiteman Air Force Base was a grand success. Peggy Bright, KMBC 9 News.
Also today, for the very first time, B-2 pilots talked about making those bombing runs over the Balkans. There were some 50 sorties, and the Air Force says they inflicted 30% of the damage done by the entire Allied bombing campaign. And some of the folks around here think that should put to rest some of the carping and the questioning of the B-2 program, that the planes sometimes don't perform well in the rain, or at $2 billion each, that they're too expensive.
Every single accusation has been refuted with live fire, so to speak.
That's Brigadier General Leroy Barnage Jr. starting the most detailed account so far of the B-2's role in the Balkan War. And for the first time, B-2 combat pilots, identified by code name only, talked to the Balkan bombings.
We did see some threats and see some fire, but it wasn't anything that concerned us because we trust the airplane so much, basically.
6 of the 9 available stealth bombers were used, according to the Air Force, usually flying in pairs. Sometimes, one mission returning home would pass another set heading to Kosovo in midair. They inflicted 30% of the damage during the war, going after a series of targets on every mission. And the Brigadier described the B2 campaign as flawless.
The thing just kept getting better rather than in terms of any kind of negative surprises. It just kept getting better.
Okay, but how did two guys fly from Missouri to Kosovo for 30 hours? Can they ever sleep?
And in fact, we even went down to the local Walmart store and got some aluminum trifold lawn chairs and laid those out and laid on top of that.
Is there anything to eat?
Then we heated up chili and some hot dogs and in some cases sauerkraut and the whole mess, and had yourself a good gut bomb there.
But seriously, some of the supporters of the B-2 stealth bombing program now think that this up-to-now controversial radar-evading aircraft at $2 billion each has effectively answered its critics. That's the story of a presidential visit to say thank you here at the Whiteman Air Base. Back to you.
A good gut bomb on a heading to war. Thank you, Michael.
You can't beat him.
Yeah, out of Whiteman. Well, here's what Whiteman's B-2 bombers accomplished during the Kosovo crisis. As Michael reported, they flew more than 50 sorties, each one lasting 30 hours from takeoff to touchdown. That was 3% of all the missions flown in Operation Allied Force. The B-2s hit 20% of all targets. The B-2s dropped 1.3 million pounds of bombs. They were chosen for this duty because of the heavy payload they can carry.
A murder hits close to home for Grandview police. They're investigating the death of one of their employees. 34-year-old Randall Matson is now charged with killing his mother, 60-year-old Sharon Matson. During questioning, he changed his story, admitting he killed her. Sharon worked for the Grandview Police Department for 12 years. Brenda Washington talks with coworkers and neighbors who find it's hard to believe what's happened.
She had a real good sense of humor about her.
Very outgoing, always happy.
She was a wonderful person to work with.
Grandview police never imagined they'd be investigating the murder of one of their own.
It's real hard, especially since you know her.
60-year-old Sharon Matson worked in the records department at the Grandview Police Department. Investigators say around 1 a.m., her 34-year-old son, who lived with her, called police, saying he'd found his mother's body in her bedroom. Police say there had been a struggle and that it appears Sharon was beaten to death.
Yeah, it's a shock. Very sweet lady.
Neighbors are reeling over the news. One woman who lives next door says her husband thought he heard noises around Sharon's duplex late last night.
He thought he heard some car doors shutting about 12:30 or so, and he thought he heard a car take off.
Sharon worked for the police department 12 years. Her desk is surrounded by family photos. Co-workers say she was well liked.
She was here every morning in a good mood. She'd work hard. She's one of the hardest workers we had. Never complained.
And she'll be missed by a lot of people.
Everyone just loved her.
Brenda Washington, KMBC 9 News.
Randall Matson now admits he hit his mother in the head with a cast iron skillet. The victim's arms and ankles were taped together. Randall Matson is charged with second-degree murder and armed criminal action. His next court date is June 23rd. A Kansas City man is dead following a shooting late last night. Police say 36-year-old Benjamin Matthews was an innocent bystander when some men opened fire outside a liquor store at 49th and Swope Parkway. Earlier that night, a security officer had chased away some men from that store. No one has been arrested.
An attack at the Jackson County Courthouse downtown will lead to better security. Assistant Prosecutor Kate Mahoney was hit by a chair and tackled by inmate Dennis Hyman. This was her second conviction of the 39-year-old serial rapist. When the verdict was read, Hyman cursed the jury, then overcame two guards to go after Mahoney. Her injuries were described as minor. The state of Missouri is set to execute another prisoner this week. If it happens, that will make 7 this year alone. Members of the group Missourians to Abolish the Death Penalty are concerned about what it calls a dangerous practice by the state. Members used 7 chairs with cardboard cutouts to illustrate their point. They believe Missouri is moving too fast with executions.
We do not have the time for deliberation to sort out where responsibility lies. And so we call today to stop the execution machine and not to break that record.
The group wants a halt on executions and more investigations into death penalty cases. Well, if you're on your feet on the streets in Leawood, obey the law or else. And imagine having eye surgery and seeing it for yourself as it happens. This eye-opener next in Health Watch.
Thunderstorms for the weekend or sunshine? Our forecast coming up in a couple of minutes.
Plus, the people who take in runaways turn to the community for help. More on their day of choices still ahead.
From KMBC 9 News, where the news comes first, Laurie Everett, Larry Moore, Kelly Eckerman with Health Watch, meteorologist Brian Busby, and sports with Len Dawson. You're watching KMBC 9 News at 6. Closed captioning provided by Kansas City Power and Light, who remind you that there's a little Kansas City in all of us.
Hollywood Squares is rolling out the red carpet for the superstars from the luminous Leah Thompson.
What has a dimpled surface sometimes contains a liquid core.
Baywatch, babe.
And leading lady Melanie Griffith.
What was created when a monkey propositioned a lion?
I think that would be the phrase, "You're not my type."
Comedic genius Jason Alexander tops off the A-list of laughs.
I was bluffing my...
On Hollywood Squares.
Hollywood Squares, tonight at 6:30 on Channel 9.
From the beginning, the redesigned Dodge Dakota was different. It was the roomiest club cab in its class, the only one that offered a V8, and the only one ranked most appealing compact pickup by J.D. Power & Associates 2 years straight. Plus now, it's J.D. Power & Associates' best compact pickup in initial quality. Dakota, still turning the truck world upside down. Now get a $1,000 cash allowance and a no-charge V6 on select regular cab Dakotas.
You're a real colonel, right?
Play Defeat the Dark Side. Get a game medallion and you could win one of millions of prizes instantly. Even a Star Wars speeder. Only at Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, and KFC.
About helping people who have helped so many in our community. Take a look at what's happening up in the Northland. Synergy Services holding its second annual Day of Choices fundraiser with the Park Hill South Dixieland Band. And our own Joel Nichols helped out at Chapels up in North Kansas City with a silent auction and raffle. Synergy Services helps runaways and victims of domestic violence. Tomorrow they will hold a walkathon in Briarcliff West.
State-of-the-art technology could be changing the way we see things, literally. In Health Watch tonight, doctors say computer technology is revolutionizing eye care, especially for patients with hypertension, glaucoma, and diabetes, which is the leading cause of blindness in the U.S. This technology allows doctors to take a picture of the back of the eye, providing a clear look at the optic nerve. The image can easily be transmitted to other specialists so all care providers can see what's going on inside the eyes. More and more baby boomers are in need of hearing aids, but studies show 6 out of 7 middle-aged patients who need them don't use them. Doctors say many don't realize how severe their hearing loss is until it's pointed out to them. Half the respondents say cost is a factor in not getting one, and 1 in 5 say a hearing aid would make them feel old and embarrassed. Experts say there are many hearing devices out there that can easily be hidden and suggest anyone who suspects hearing loss get it checked out. Tonight, another use for the Gamma knife, a high-tech machine typically used to treat brain tumors. Now it's also being used to treat a type of devastating face pain involving nerves that control feeling in the face. 80% of patients who had not responded to other therapies found relief after treatment with the Gamma knife. Research Medical Center of Health Midwest has one of the less than 3 dozen Gamma knife machines in the country.
Kareem and Wilt the Stilt, just a few of the sports legends who'll be in town this weekend.
And police in Leawood begin cracking down this weekend on people who use the streets without cars. And maybe a few changes ahead this weekend weather-wise.
Yeah, we're hoping for a little bit of relief, but the showers are not going away very soon. So we'll talk about that in detail in just a second. I'm going to take you out west in Nevada because Milton of Kearney took this picture, and this is of the Cascade Mountain Range. Thanks, Milton. As for today's high, around 82, that is right where we should be for this time of year. 104 is the record back in 1953. Forecast in a couple of minutes.
They're hitting the greens in the land of the blues. The FedEx St. Jude Classic, live from Memphis, Saturday at 4 on ABC.
Let's swing.
Once you watch,
I have emotion.
you're hooked.
The motion is denied.
Hey! Can you at least read it?
This stinks!
The Practice, ABC Sunday, 10, 9 Central.
To spice up your summer, you could buy this Italian shirt and silk shorts at a pricey department store for around $150. Or take that same amount to Steinmart's 12-hour sale and buy the exact same shirt and shorts, plus this fashionable outfit for mom, plus these casual kids' clothes, which all adds up to you, the happy shopper. Don't miss our 12-hour sale, where you'll save an additional 30 to 40% off Steinmart's everyday discount prices throughout the store and still have money left for this Road Whiz game.
Don't learn electrical safety by accident.
Now at Popeyes, get 10 pieces of Popeyes chicken, spicy or mild, for only $8.99. That's 10 pieces for only $8.99.
It's an itsy-bitsy teeny-weeny yellow polka dot bikini.
There's nothing worse than shopping for a new swimsuit. Winter can be so unkind to the waistline, and the suits keep getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Did you find anything you like?
Millions of people turn to Metabolife to lose weight. Metabolife is laboratory tested for safety and clinically shown to be effective for weight loss. Look for the Metabolife cart at most major malls. There's only one Metabolife.
Exercise buffs in Leawood, look out. If you jog or rollerblade in the street, it's time to change course.
Because as KMBC9's David Bowden explains, you could run right into a police officer.
Whether you do it fast or slow, on foot or on wheels, don't do it on Leawood streets.
Most of our problems consist of pedestrians who are in the roadway and when there are sidewalks available. They're running and they want to be out here instead of having to deal with crossing a driveway or crossing curbs, and so they run on the road.
Starting Saturday, Leawood police officers will crack down on joggers, walkers, and rollerbladers who ignore signs like this one on Tomahawk Creek Parkway. They're trying to keep pedestrians safe.
Statistics from the state show us that Johnson County has a higher than normal death rate for the state.
Kathy Bono says she hates to think of walking alone in a park and readily admits walking in the street on Tomahawk.
Just because there's no sidewalks. In certain areas on Tomahawk Creek, there's no sidewalks, so you end up having to walk on the street in some areas. So it would be nice if they did have continuous sidewalks.
Be that as it may, the rules are pedestrians are prohibited from walking along the streets where sidewalks are available. Pedestrians who are legally walking in the street must walk toward oncoming traffic on the extreme edge of the road. And that goes for rollerbladers, too. Bikes aren't included. They're considered moving vehicles.
We want to educate people. We want them to be safe. It's not a goal to write tickets, but there are some people who need to get ticketed in order to be deterred from violating the law.
The fine for violating the law, a citation that will cost you $25. And that's anything but a walk in the park. David Bowden, KMBC 9 News.
Tomorrow, officers will begin ticketing pedestrians who violate the law.
Well, maybe a wet weekend, but not a complete washout.
No, a hit-and-miss thing. It's about what we've had the past couple of days. Some storms could be strong, but it looks like our chances of rain really start to die off as we get into Sunday. So I don't know if that really helps you or not, but it's going to be kind of a warm. You can bet that. Let's go outside now because it is kind of a cloudy situation in some areas. The clouds have been moving in. We do have some storms northwest of Kansas City, and they are moving easterly, and we'll show that to you in just a second on Pinpoint 9 Doppler radar. But right now, temperature downtown is holding steady at 82 degrees. Of course, you add in the winds from the south and the humidity level. That's why you have the heat index at least 87. At times, it's felt more than 90 degrees. So kind of a warm, somewhat humid afternoon and evening in store for all of the area. Pinpoint 9 Doppler radar does show a line of thunderstorms moving easterly very slowly, around 25 to 30 miles an hour. Here's Kansas City. Here's our radar site, and we go northward into like St. Joseph area. In fact, I'm going to zoom in a little closer to that. And what we'll see is some of these storms were severe earlier today, but as of right now, they have weakened just a bit. But there is quite a bit of lightning with this around St. Joseph, south of there. Here is Highway 29, Interstate 29, Leavenworth. Atchison, you're getting some thunderstorm activity right now. If they do turn severe, we will let you know immediately, but these storms will continue to move easterly, and those of you just north of Kansas City, just keep that in mind. On the satellite imagery, quite a bit of cloud cover associated with all this. We have a very weak cold front trying to work its way across the area, and what that's doing is, well, it's providing the scattered thunderstorms all up and down the Midwest, even down to Dixie. Thunderstorms popping up around Louisiana, Mississippi. Once you get into Kansas City, see how they're just real scattered. That's what they're going to be throughout tonight and throughout tomorrow morning. It's a very weak frontal system. It's not going to provide much relief at all when it comes to cooler air. In fact, it's just enough to produce the thunderstorms. And then by Saturday, we'll have sunshine, and still that chance of a thunderstorm can pop up anytime, anywhere. Temperatures tomorrow around 81, 82. The cooler air on its way, but it'll take a few days before it gets here. 74 for the rest of your evening. Winds from the southwest at 5 to 10. 66 for the overnight, and for your weekend. Looks like Saturday a high of 81 with a scattered thunderstorm. On our 5-day, it looks like that scattered thunderstorm event will continue through Sunday. Monday 82. And we mentioned a cool down. Yes, it will happen by Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday with highs in the 70s. Skycast looking good tomorrow, but watch out today. The mold very high. Those, I'm sure there are many say, oh yeah, we already know that.
We know that. All right, thanks, Pete.
All right.
It's fast-paced and it lasts all weekend long. We're going to take you to Chiefs Mini Camp next.
And we'll show you how to get your hands on some valuable pieces of sports memorabilia. Noel number 16 coming up.
Weather has been brought to you by Health Midwest. That dust cloud could be only one thing. The Ford Tough Truck Stampede. Save big on Ford Ranger, the #1 selling compact pickup in America. Get shift on the fly, 4-wheel drive, automatic transmission, and air conditioning, all for just $189 a month. Don't let this little doggy get away. Blaze a trail to your local Ford dealer today.
Just one more reason we work hard to keep the power flowing in Kansas City. Because when you're working for your friends and neighbors, you work a little harder.
Weather Beater paint protects the great American home of John Paul Jones from New England's harsh extremes. It protects the home of Buffalo Bill from searing summer heat. And now you can protect your home with the most durable Weather Beater paint ever. 20-year Weather Beater with a great everyday price, just $17.99. No other paint resists cracking and peeling better.
Next time I paint this house, you'll be out of college.
20-year Weather Beater at Sears.
Play Powerball today, and you could be in Lucky Town before you know it.
Boy, the one thing about the Royals series with the Cardinals, both teams scored so many runs. Talk about pitching. There wasn't any.
None left because everybody pitched, including the guys who probably didn't pitch. Right. But if the Royals thought they used their bullpen a lot against St. Louis, wait until they play the 3-game series in Pittsburgh. Pitchers have to hit this weekend, and that alone could keep the phone in the pen busy. Game just started at 6:05. We're in the second inning so far. There is no score. Left-hander Jose Rosado has yet to take his first swing of the year. Out in Chicago, where it was a battle of the crosstown rivals, White Sox scored 4 times in the third. Maglio Ordonez drives one in Sammy Sosa's way. Sammy knows there's brick behind those ivy there, so he kind of takes it easy. Big old Frank Thomas lumbering all the way from first. He is going to score. This is in a rain delay. It's in the 6th inning. The White Sox leading the Cubs by the score of 5-3. Folks, the disguise did not fool anybody, and it ended up costing Bobby Valentine $5,000. There he is. The Mets manager was ejected Wednesday night after arguing a call in the 12th inning against Toronto. Valentine walked off the field but returned to the dugout wearing a fake mustache and glasses. The National League saw through that, folks. He'll serve a 2-game suspension beginning tomorrow, but Valentine has appealed. After a below-average 1998 campaign, the Chiefs are itching to get back on the field. This time it will be Gunther Cunningham's way. The second 3-day minicamp began today, and the players are learning very quickly that Gunther's pace is a very, very fast one.
As the horns sound, players and coaches run to the next drill. Camp Gunther is firmly in place.
Yeah, we kind of run everywhere, but I tell you what, if you're not in shape, it shows. And you're getting conditioning, running from drill to drill, period to period, and there's no downtime.
After adapting last month's mini camp, there are no more excuses for lack of hustle. It's certainly now Gunther's way or no way at all.
You look at the teams that have been successful, the Denvers, the San Franciscos, the 49ers, they play this up-tempo type style and they practice that way. That's the only way you can play that way is to practice that way. So I like it, and I think once the team gets adjusted to it, they'll see that they like it.
Now the biggest difference here at Camp Gunther is the fact that after only an hour and 20 minutes, the practice field is empty. The intensity is up a whole heck of a lot, and the players say they'll do whatever it takes if it means getting back that winning attitude.
I see guys excited. You know, guys are coming out here, and we're coming out to win. We're not coming out just thinking we're going to win. We're working towards winning.
After this weekend, players get 6 weeks off to get ready for official training camp, which starts in July. Or wait, has it already started?
Training camp. This is the pace. This is Gunther Cunningham's pace, period. From here until eternity. I told them we're not running after practice. If you see us running after practice, that means I've really lost it. I said I'm going to kill them during practice, and you have to be in shape to practice this way.
Jonathan Coachman, KMBC 9 Sports.
The Chiefs minicamp runs through Sunday afternoon. Some very tragic news to tell you tonight. Jamie Adcock, the mascot for Kansas State Wildcats, died this morning at KU Medical Center. Adcock had been in a motorcycle accident yesterday in Manhattan. He was just 24. Her season lasted 42 seconds. Rebecca Lobo collapsed last night in the WNBA opener between New York and Cleveland. You can see the left knee give, and she tore her anterior cruciate. Lobo was in obvious pain, was later helped off the court. MRI confirmed the torn ligament. She is out for the year. The former All-American out of UConn started all 59 games Liberty has played. Looks like Phil Jackson may be back in business in the NBA. Reports out of L.A. say Jackson is being courted by the Lakers. The former Bulls boss reportedly has been offered a 4-year deal worth $20 million. Jackson led Chicago to 6 NBA titles in 9 years as coach. The Lakers will only confirm that they have him as a candidate for the vacant job.
Well, if he can't handle that cast of characters out there, nobody can.
Well, they'll bring Dennis Rodman back.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah. Thank you. Finally, at 6, if you are a sports fan, the Overland Park Trade Center is the place to be this weekend.
The TriStar Collector Show comes to town with some big names. Basketball legends Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Wilt Chamberlain, and NFL Hall of Famer Eric Dickerson will be there to sign autographs.
Thank you for joining us. That's it tonight at 6.
We hope you'll join us again tonight at 10. See you then.